Hey guys, Huzzy, bringing you another video, this time playing Jax top lane, a good top laner that does have some difficulties early on, especially against a champion like Renekton. Renekton is known as one of the best top laners in the game right now, definitely one of the best early game champions, so I do have to be careful in that respect while playing Jax. Now the runes and masteries for this game are pretty simple. The runes is 25 armor, a bit of AD and some MR. This is just to try and survive early on and just let... You know, Renekton's going to have this lane early. That's pretty evident. He's going to have this lane early because Jax literally can't trade with him very well. You know, at least to my knowledge of Jax. I have seen Jax's beat Renekton's early, but that's when they have increased knowledge of the champion and have played him a lot. I'm just picking up Jax now. I have played him a fair bit, so I do know how he works. But especially in the matchup versus Renekton, I'm a bit hesitant in the early game. So the 25 armor should be able to help me to survive. And as for runes and masteries, it's just a very simple 2190. You got mixing of attack speed and CDR and AP and all that in there. You know, Jax is a kind of a hybrid in some regards. And the one thing about Jax, he is a hyper carry. Jax will just dominate anything really in the late game. I can't think of many champions that will beat Jax in a 1v1 late game. So all I've got to really do in this lane, the best to my ability, is survive, and then I will outscale him. So we'll be able to see if I can do it. Hopefully I will be able to. But, you know, it is a Renekton after all. He does do surprising damage quite often. But hopefully I'll be able to pull something together. So as for team comps this game, you've got myself on Jax, obviously. You've got the enemy having a Renekton. You've got the both junglers. You've got Fi playing Elise, and you've got the enemy playing Wukong. And mid laners, we've got Thor playing Ziggs, enemy playing Gragas, and then the bot lane is Lucian, Duffman playing Lucian, and Vale playing Thresh, and then enemy playing Severe Morgana. So team comp wise, honestly, there's not much in it. I'd say we definitely have the late game in this, seeing that we've got one of Ziggs, we've got a very strong bot lane synergy, and then we obviously have a Jax. So one thing to note about this little endeavour that Renekton just did, he came into lane very, very, very late. So this already in the mind games of us, we played this game last night, so it's quite fresh in my mind, is that we thought they started blue. If he came up that late, he started blue. Now the only thing that kind of made me think he didn't was he had 0 ferocity or fury, or whatever it is on Renekton. He had 0. So if he actually was attacking it, then he should have had some. So in hindsight, we should have probably known that, okay, he actually didn't do it, seeing that he has, you know, no Fury, we'll call it. Hopefully it's called Fury. And so we kind of think that Wukong's going to be on the other side of the map, and therefore Fi is just going to do the red buff. He goes the slow route, doing the Wolves, I think, and the Wraiths, which is going to be a very slow start. And then he will eventually make his way to top lane. But we didn't really take in consideration that the Wukong is going to actually be here. So he is waiting. He's probably waiting for Elise to come over into this area while Renekton is just pushing into the lane. So CS wise, I'm kind of close to him, but there is also a big minion wave already heading into my tower. So Wukong is waiting in this bush. Fi walks in and hey presto, there's a Wukong, which we did not expect 1 second of it. So I just used my counter strike just to stop both of them getting onto him. He does manage to survive, which is good. And then I'm going to just continue to farm as much as possible. Wukong we know is going to stay in the area. If we go aggressive on this Renekton, then, you know, Wukong will just jump into action. So there's not really much we need to do here, just do a little bit of farming. I do throw a ward into that top bush and still Wukong stays around. Which, honestly, at this point, I don't think this Wukong should really be staying. He is looking for the Elise a little bit now, but still, I don't think, you know, I don't think they give us that credit or that much credit. You know, we're not going to die to them like this. So anyway, Renekton's going to continue pushing the wave, which is a good thing for Jax. If you're playing Renekton versus a Jax, don't push the wave. He cannot trade you early on very easily at all. So you want to keep the wave in the middle of the lane where Jax has to come out and get the CS. Otherwise, he's going to be denied. So I'm actually picking up more CS than I probably should versus Renekton early on. So that is quite a nice thing for me. You know, I'm only 5 CS behind with Wukong having that early pressure. Anyway, First Blood does go down to the Wukong. He does get to the slip onto the Ziggs, but Fi does manage to pick up the Wukong afterwards. So the double buffs have been refreshed. He will have them for quite some time now, but he just has to be careful, obviously. You know, he's denying the Gragas a little bit of farm as well. Going back in top lane, this is a really fun lane. I try to get in range to counter-strike some minions for CS, but honestly don't get in range enough. He stuns me before I could get there, so that wasn't very good for me. And I think I'm probably going to be saying to Fi soon that I probably just need him to come top to cover the lane. As this lane, as mentioned, I'm not going to be completely fussed about the early game. In the end of the day, I'm a Jax, he's a Renekton, he's always going to have this early game. Use my counter-strike again, trying to get the cannon, but unfortunately was not to be. And Fi is on his way up, so at the moment I'm trying to just to survive as much as I can. But Slice and Dice will come down, and I think I just will die. So yeah, I just go down, which is not great by me. I throw the Ignite onto the Renekton just to try and do a little bit more damage, as I know Fi is coming in. He is tanking minions as well, but Renekton does actually get the level up right then, which is really unfortunate. So I do go down, which is a bad move by my part. But again, I'm not completely fussed about the early game here. I know I'm going to lose it early on. While Ziggs does roam for the Renekton, and they should be able to pick up this kill, honestly. I think Renekton does go a bit, greedy onto Fi. Tries to flash on top of him. Very nice repel. So that is a very good trade by, well, not kind of a good trade, seeing that we get the Ziggs even stronger and we get me to an okay, like, state, I suppose. I do have my Vampiric Scepter. So anyway, going for the Gragas there. Now that was a really weird bug. It looked like I jumped to this ward, but in the end of the day, I actually, or matter of fact, I jumped to the Gragas, but something happened with the wall and it just stopped the jump going the full way. So that was really weird. You can see the counter strike actually like landed partially, so that was a bit odd. It was like a really weird bug. But yeah, returned into lane. Going to try and do a bit of farming. Now you'll see that Renekton has opted for damage, which is completely fine. You know, he wants to outtrade a Jax early. He knows I'm going to probably outscale him. And a lot of the attention you'll see this game is actually onto this top lane. They're trying to deny me as much as they can, because they know eventually Jax will beat Renekton. It's inevitable, you know, just as the champions work, as their item builds go, Jax will beat Renekton. So you can see Wukong again is heading on his way top. They're just trying to just stomp me into the ground and make me a non-factor in this game, which is a bit annoying when you're playing this game, but hopefully I should be okay. Counter-Strike as soon as they come in, get a pretty good stun on both of them, and we'll just simply run out. But again, you know, they're focusing me quite hard, so what a lot of people say, what happens or when you're a Jax or anything like this, when you're getting a bit camped in top lane, when all the action seems to be going top, what do you do? First thing you do is don't panic. There's no point panicking. As I go into just a little bit of CS, just get that too, and then back out. I do take a bit of damage for it, but, you know, I do need to have the CS in the end of the day. But don't panic, that is the simple thing. While bot lane is getting kills, so that's nice by them. Unfortunate hook by Vale there, that was very, very close. And again, Renekton is going aggressive me in top, does pop his ultimate, and I think I will just have to back off. And missing all this CS is a real bummer early on. But again, I've got to kind of just give this lane to Renekton early on. I can't do anything much. He does have the damage on me, he does have the kill on me. So you just kind of roll with it. Don't put yourself at a further disadvantage by trying to get the CS and just continually dying. It's not worth it. Eventually, I will beat this Renekton. If no matter like how much CS I have, just as the champions themselves, I will beat this Renekton eventually. So my tower actually does go down, which is actually quite good for me, honestly. It means I can have a little bit more free farm, but it does mean that Wukong could come in from behind me now, which is a bit worrying. But I will just go and trying to get a bit of CS here, while my team actually does Dragon, which is going to help me quite some, you know, a little bit. So yeah, when you're playing a champion that's getting denied heavily, you do one of two things as a team. You either focus your jungler to that lane to help them as much as possible, to counter gank as much as possible, or you sacrifice the lane early and try to do things around the map. And that's what my team has decided to do, which is a completely fine decision. I can cope with not having a lot of CS, and because I know I'll beat him late game. So my team made a play bot lane, they got a kill or two, I think, and then actually went for Dragon, which in return helps me. You know, CS-wise, I am 14 CS behind, which is actually just just under 2 waves of CS. But at the end of the day, I have died. So is Renekton, but he actually does get a kill. So it's not that bad with all things considered. So I'll go over, pick up the double golems, and we'll return maybe to the lane soon. Now, you may be like, okay, when will Jax be able to outtrade Renekton? And honestly, right now, will be close, but it's the whole fact he's got 2 levels on me. If he didn't have 2 levels on me, if we were same items at this point and same level, I would have been okay, even if I was a little bit of items behind. Now, again, Wukong is looking for me, as, you know, this game has been apparent that's been happening, and I just use a ward jump like Lee Sin does to just simply get away. So this game, you know, when you're playing it, it's a bit frustrating when you're getting countered or denied that hard, but you've got to kind of think of it as two things. One, it's a bit flattering that they're putting that much time just to deny me, and two, I know I'm going to beat this guy anyway, so it's not a big deal. I'm going to just farm as much as I can out of his minions, and also Fi is working his way to top lane, so we will actually look for a kill onto this Renekton here. Really nice burst damage by Fi there, and we're going for the kill, and I do manage to pick it up myself and just auto attack, lifesteal, and I actually do manage to survive. So that is a big thing that a lot of people forget to do. If you're very close to dying and you do have a bit of lifesteal, auto attack something, anything, just try and survive, and that's what actually happened then. So getting that kill will help me quite a bit. It would have been nice if I could have stayed for the CS, but at the time I didn't have vision of the Wukong, but obviously now we do. If I knew Wukong wasn't around, I would have stayed for CS, but we don't. So anyway, my bot lane nearly 2v3 there. Unfortunate, you know, they didn't. Wukong didn't have ult though. That probably would have gone a lot better for the enemy team. If they had ult, they probably would have got both of my team members, but only one death, which is okay. Obviously no deaths would have been better, but it's an okay situation considering everything. So this game, how would we play this game as just a normal situation? We've got a Ziggs, which is one of the best champions, if not the best champion, for stopping an enemy team getting on a tower, getting the mid tower, or etc. And we have a Jax. So in the end of the day, all we kind of want to do is deny the enemy team a little bit. While I go a bit aggressive on this Renekton, I'm just testing my damage here, and you can kind of see it's starting to happen. I'm starting to outscale this Renekton. Even though I've been ganked heavily, even though I've been denied CS heavily, I will eventually beat this guy. And I knew it all the time. That's why I didn't panic, and that's why I'm just like, well, I can beat this guy. Now, a good tip on Jax that I'll always give somebody is auto-attack minions twice, so you get if you know his ultimate at all, the ultimate passive is every every 2 auto attacks or every 3 auto attacks you'll hit a bigger auto attack, so you'll go 1-2 big hit, 1-2 big hit. So that in effect will give you, you know, a really nice trading potential. If you auto attack minions 1-2 and then use your QW combination onto the enemy champion, it's a really big damage. So anyway, Wukong again, surprise, he's top lane. So this is my fault, just being a bit overextended in the top lane. I don't know, I didn't really think Wukong would stay top lane this much this game, but, you know, he still is coming. So I do go down. Really nice hook by Vale there, and I think Gragas should go down any second. Wukong does move into the situation. He does go down, but I think Vale has reached his end. He has, but maybe Thor will be able to pick up Wukong potentially in the near future. Nice damage onto him. I will just zoom into the mid lane, seeing if Thor can pick him up. Really close. He's used the decoy, and I think he will manage to escape. The Renekton is heavily pushed into the top lane, so he probably will go over to help out. Now, Fi has found himself a Renekton as well, so Fi will be trying to eat that nom nom nom, and that should go to Fi fairly easily, or I think I remember this point. So Renekton actually goes the other way, and this is where I'm calling on TeamSpeak. Let me have this kill. Give me this kill. Give me this kill. So we've all decided, yep, we'll give this to Huz. And here's the funny thing. Ready? He flashes to nowhere. He's dead and still tries to deny me the kill. This game sucks. Everybody's trying to deny the Jax. Renekton even flashes, even though he knows he's dead, just to stop me getting the kill. So this is the type of game that this is. You know, these games, I find them quite funny. When you're playing them, you really do concentrate quite heavily. And you're like, right, I need to do this. I need to get that kill. And then when someone does like that, it just makes you laugh. So we're going to go for this turret. Should be fairly easy to pick this up with a Jax and Elise. You know, her little spiderlings will be helping. Wukong does move into the area, but Wukong is so squishy right now. I think any second me and Fi will just turn onto this guy and just kill him. So there's a nice burst by Fi. I'm just waiting for him to decoy to come back out. And again, I say to Fi, just let me have this kill, which he does. Very nice by him. So that's a tower and a kill for me. And shared gold, obviously, to Fi. And meanwhile, in bot lane, Duffman is 2v1ing. So no idea how Duffman managed to 2v1 that. He did. And that's well played by him. He is continuing to try to go for the Severe, but it doesn't manage to get it. And also in mid lane, Vale and Thor managed to pick up the Gragas. So overall, really nice clean sweep by us. And that will lead us being in a further gold lead, you know, nearly 4,000 odd gold ahead. While I go over and just ward. Now this ward, I love this ward. This ward can give you vision of if people are going up, this way, this way, this way, this way. It gives you like vision of 5 or 6 different ways people could go. It's an awesome ward. And especially if you're doing a bit of counter jungling trying to steal the enemy blue, I'd recommend putting the ward here. Because if you put it in the bush, you literally only have vision of when they're walking in the bush. If you have it here, you'll be able to see when they're coming around, or be able to see when they're coming from lane. It's just a superior ward. So anyway, I did a bit of farming. You know, I am catching up a little bit with this Renekton, and I am starting to outscale him while my team do the dragon. But again, I don't have to panic. That's the whole point in this game. I could probably get more than I am getting. Now, that is one thing I will probably say. I'm not going to be playing this perfectly. You know, I've just picked up maining top kind of at the moment. And with that, I have to learn matchups, I have to learn champions a little bit more, and this is a matchup that is obviously heavily favoured in Renekton early, especially when the jungler is staying around a lot. So it's just me kind of learning in this game, you know, learning for myself. Now, my build is a standard build on Jax that I quite enjoy doing against pretty much any matchup. You build into the Cutlass just for a little bit of lifesteal and trading potential. You know, you got the little 100 passive with the slow, very, very nice passive, or item in general. Don't know what's happening in the bot lane. They kind of go for a weird engage. If I actually just try to flash out but doesn't manage to do it. But that was a 1-for-1, but still kind of weird. And here, Fi is actually donating his red buff to me, without his permission, obviously, but I just take it because I'm thinking, hey, I'm Jax, I could probably do with a red buff right now. So I think I kill it, and right now I'm actually saying on TeamSpeak, thank you for your contribution for the Get a Jax Fed Foundation to Fi, and everybody was laughing, and yeah, so just took the red buff. And this is Team 5's, obviously, so solo queue, I would probably take it anyway, but Team 5's, you know, normally it's a bit more organised, so me just taking it was a bit out of the ordinary, but it's still probably better than on me at the moment than Release. But as I was saying, the build of Jax, Cutlass is very good early on just for trading, and the slow gets you an extra auto attack here and there. Then I build into the Phage just to give yourself a little bit of beefiness, as well as the passive, just a little bit of speed, again helps to your trading potential. And then after that, I will build into the Blade of the Ruined King. Which, again, once I blade, this Renekton has 0 chance. He has 0 chance right now, to be honest. As I think I will probably, with this red buff, look to try and kill him. So he has returned into lane. We're both level 11 now, so I actually have caught up in levels. I'm catching up in CS quite fast. So here we go. I'm going to go for the little trade. Auto attack, auto attack, auto attack. He does use his ultimate. I use mine, and here we go. Now he is completely screwed. He knows he's dead, and bam, goes down. So after all that stuff that happened in top lane, I still managed to come out on top. Now that is just simply the champion. That's nothing to do with me. There's nothing to do with any player, you know, playing Jax. It's just Jax himself. So the one thing I will say is I will give credit to a Jax if he beats a Renekton early game. I won't give credit to a Renekton if he beats Jax in early game. It's just how the champions work. Now I am trying to steal this blue buff away while the enemy, I think, will kind of maybe realize that I'm doing something, or maybe they don't. Okay, they don't. I thought they were on their way when Wukong was running here, but I do manage to pick up their blue buffs. So I've got double buffs now, and if we have much gold, I do have Blade of the Ruined King as well. So again, this will further how much I can fight this Renekton. He can't 1v1 me anymore, or if he does, then either I make a big mistake, or maybe I tank turret hits too much, or something along them, or it will be a Wukong gank. I will still easily die to a Wukong and Renekton at this point. Eventually, in the late game, Jax probably will be able to, like, 2v or 1v3. But yeah, I'm still fairly squishy at this point. So Wukong, Renekton, both of them will be able to kill me. I just don't think Renekton alone will be able to kill me. Build-wise, now I'm building into my Triforce, going to finish it. Have picked up an Amplifying Tome, which will, build into that Sheen, which gives me even more burst. Now again, adding to that point, 1, 2, and then bam, that auto-attack there. If you auto-attack twice on minions, and then use your QW onto an enemy target with a Sheen, you'll be doing like half of their health every 6 odd seconds, or however long the cooldown of the W a Q is. So that's a good tip. It's a really nice mechanic just for engaging with somebody or just doing a little bit more poke. So I'm going to continue to the top lane. Renekton has gone into the mid lane, which I don't really know why he's over there. Probably a big reason. Well, good escape by Fi, but ooh, nice repel. But I don't think he has anywhere to go. He does actually go up the top way, but yeah, he does go down. But yeah, this here's where I tank a bit too many minion or turret hits, so I have to be careful of that. But I'm asking him, does he want a piece of the champ? He might do, so we'll have to kind of see. So just doing a bit of farming. So there is the thing that I just mentioned. 2 auto attacks on minions, and then use your W as like a big hit. So I still have to be fairly careful. I have actually gone fairly low health, considering everything. Now Wukong is in the area. I kind of see he's in the area, and again, you know, I think. All right, here's a point that I do a big mistake. I'm like, right, I'm just going to go kill him. So I go for the kill, And yeah, big mistake by me. I shouldn't have done it. Now, what I was kind of thinking, I'm just going to kill him really quickly and then move on. He lifesteals a little bit off minions and manages to get away. Renekton, in return, flashes over the wall and picks me up. So that was a derp moment by me, but well played to Wukong. Lifestealing off their minions. If we actually look, does he have any lifesteal? Well, I don't even... He had a 0 lifesteal, but he managed to auto-attack the minions enough that he survived. I don't really know how that worked. But I thought he would have gone down there, but you could see that he was actually auto-attacking minions over here. So that was unfortunate for me. Didn't pick up that kill, which is a bit sad. Renekton actually does get the blue buff. But again, in a 1v1 situation, I'll be able to beat this Renekton fairly easily. Just the Wukong has a crush on Jax this game, which is fine. Wukong is actually now picking up the enemy red buff, and the blue buff has in return spawned for us, which is just amazing on Ziggs. It's a great, great tool. So Ziggs will go over and pick that up. So just going to speed up the game while we're in. Well, kind of, it's turning into late game soon. Now, the style of play on Jax, what you can either do is you wait till you're an absolute beast. So I'm nearly an absolute beast. I'm getting there. When I have Triforce, Jax is like a monster. So when I have that, that's when I can start like grouping with the team. But I am actually coming down with for Dragon. So hopefully my team can just stall enough. Very nice stalling by Vale. He does go a bit deep for it, but does manage to survive. So I am working my way in. So we're going to try and look for a team fight here, I believe. So there's comes Ziggs bomb, and they do pick it up. So we were a bit late into the engage, and we're going to see if we can just simply win a team fight. Morgana does come off, and I'm just going to jump onto the Severe and the Wukong. Do as much damage as I can. Honestly, I didn't do a lot that game because, you know, my carries back here. We're in a perfect position. It's fine that I went down with my carries just absolutely annihilating everything in the back line. So that was actually a not great trade for us, in all things considered. But it kind of does lead to the future. If, you know, their team comp is a good team comp, the enemy, but they will fall off more than us. You know, Wukong and Renekton both kind of fall off damage-wise, where Jax scales more. Lucian is a very good late game. Elise, although got nerfed late game, I'd still probably say does a little bit more damage than a Wukong, especially in obviously a single target situation. So there is a minion wave building in the top wave. I have actually, or not I'm nearly probably close to finishing my Triforce while I speed up the game. But we're kind of thinking to the point of, right, what can we do? So I'm going to probably head over to the red buff, pick that up nice and free. But, you know, Baron is in our minds. Could we do Baron right now? Or should we just continue farming? You know, Jax will eventually turn into a hyper carry that he is, so just make him farm. So I've returned to the top lane, farming a little bit, and you're probably just going to want to have that Triforce, honestly, because that was a very big item for Jax. So I'm just farming this as stuff happens in the you know, the bottom side of the map. Renekton is actively looking for something else other than fighting me in the top lane, as he cannot fight me. If he comes, he probably will die. A little bit of an engage happening into the bot lane. My team is coming out on top of this. Decoy hits with the hook. And again, Renekton is confused on what he wants to do. Does he want to go top lane and fight a Jax, or does he want to help his team when they're losing a little bit of a skirmish anyway? So I will go onto this tier 2. Renekton is moving into the area, so I see him here, and I'm just going to jump on him a bit, do a little bit of damage. Honestly, not a lot, but I do have this red buff. So we will probably either look for a kill on Jax. So my team is basically saying, can I kill him? If I can kill him, do, because then it will open a tower for me and help them a little bit as well. So I am just going to flat out kind of just dive onto the Renekton under tower. So here we go. Here comes the engage. Bam. And he will go down. So that was a bit risky by me. I took a little bit too many tower hits there, but it did work out in the end of the day. I took, I think, in total about 4 tower hits, which, you know, could have made the difference. If I took 2 more, that would have been me dead. But I do manage to come out on top of that trade. And now we're going to just push the top wave in. So the enemy are probably going to look to engage here. It's fairly obvious that they've got a Jax knocking on their towers. They're probably going to look for an engage. So meanwhile, you know, I'm just going to be hitting the turret on top. There's no point watching that. So here comes the engage. Fairly easy engage by them, honestly. My team was a bit too pushed up, but Ziggs in the back should be able to do a little bit, or not. He's actually So yeah, that was just a little bit of a mistake by my team. You know, they were just a little bit too eager, I think, to go on that turret, and that was just a really, really easy engage by the Wukong. You know, Morgana bind into the Wukong. How easy can you get? So anyway, just going to go back and buy. I should have a considerable amount of gold. I do. I have 2,000, which is quite a bit. So that will be my Triforce completed. I think as well a Giant's Belt, if memory serves correctly. So now I've got my Blade and Triforce and a Giant's Belt. So now we may be looking for Baron. Me and Elise, surprisingly, will be able to solo Baron quite easily, I'd actually say, considering Jax's just pure attack on a Baron or a Dragon or a Tower, etc. on a single target is immense. So we probably will be looking for that soon. I do actually have a pink ward as well, because it was going in the back of my mind that we could do it. Some people were a bit skeptical in the team. You know, I think me and Fire was like, right, we can do this. And everybody was like, are you sure? You know, if they envision we're screwed. But luckily, I think they don't. So we'll be able to see that soon. But yeah, that is a good technique as well on Jax that I want to mention, is when to do Baron. When can you do Baron? And pretty much these items, Blade of the Ruined King, Giant's Belt, Triforce, with a jungler that could tank it quite well. You know, you can do Baron. So here we go. Gonna go for it. Simply going to start it, and we say to our team, right, pressure something. We don't matter what. Go mid, pressure bot is actually better. So I actually walk over there and just throw a ward. The enemy team have zero idea we're doing this. So if we actually change our perspective to the blue team, they have zero idea. They just see our team and they're like, okay, we don't know where Jax and Elisa, and yeah, we're doing Baron. So both of us are about half health. We're just swapping tanking every now and then. Use my ultimate just for a little bit more resistances, and I will just go over to the side, just whacking it basically. Or obviously whoever is tanking it will do less damage, and hey presto, there's Baron. So the enemy does not know we have Baron right now, but they will any second. So my team is looking for a pick, but they will know we have Baron right now with me walking into lane. And with Elise also in lane as well. So yeah, Baron secured at the 26-minute odd mark with just 2 champions. Now they are looking for a pick situation on the Severe, so this is Fnatic style. So they will go on to her. Now this Severe must be thinking, what the hell? How did they get there? So Yellow Star plays by Vale. Don't know why he uses ultimate. I think he actually misclicked, and now my enemy team, or my team, is actually in a bit of trouble. So I think we'll just continue just to farm a little bit, pretend like nothing's happening. Meanwhile in top lane, I'm trying the best I can just to try and get the turret. So I think Renekton will opt to go back, but hopefully I will be doing a considerable amount of damage to this turret. Renekton actually buys home guards to try and stop me, and I will just, I think, back out any second. Here we go. And we will just continue on him. So we were just going to go for a dive. That's simple, pure and simple. And then he does ignite me, but I think I do manage to get out and I actually pick up the kill for myself. Meanwhile, in bot lane, I don't think much is happening. Lucian does go down. Wukong is looking for an engage, but doesn't manage to get it. I do manage to use my leap just to dodge, and I think that won't be a great situation for us. You know, Ziggs is trying to do the best he can, but he is probably going to look for this in the hip soon. So Ziggs being Ziggs, you know, that passive auto attack is just amazing at taking objectives. So he will eventually get this inhibitor. So we'll play 2 Thor by doing that. And bam, hey presto, he gets it. So he has to be careful of the Wukong. He does actually use his flash just to stop Wukong actually jumping on him, which is, you know, completely fine. But that does lead us to have an inhib in this game. Now, Vale is in the bot lane, and I think actually did manage to pick up the Severe somehow. And he will continue applying pressure, you know, somewhat in this bottom lane. He wants to kind of push this down, which I think he did a good job of doing. You know, he's keeping the minion wave in the right area. He may look for a base right now, or maybe he won't. Dragon is up, so Wukong will be heading over there shortly, maybe. I'm picking up the red buff again. I am now level 17 compared to the Renekton, who's level 15. So you can kind of see how the roles have reversed this game. Early game, I was getting stomped. I'll flat out say that. I got beat. Wukong, you know, did a lot of pressure up top lane. Renekton just played it well. But yeah, I've managed to turn this lane, and this is just the credit to the matchup. Now, Duff went a bit ballsy there and doesn't die. 20 odd health. That is so unlucky for that Gragas. So I'm just going to clear this pink ward. Dragon is up, so the enemy are going to look to do it. Vale at this point was a bit hyper. He does do this occasionally, which is really funny. He actually plays quite well when he's hyper too. He hits like every hook when he does it. So anyway, going to probably look for a team fight here, honestly. Jumping into the Dragon Pit, I'm just going to quickly kill the Wukong, but unfortunately I wasn't quick enough to pick up the kill before Dragon. So I'm actually going for a flanking point on the enemy team. They do just decide to run downward, just to avoid us. Now, I know they're going this way, so I'm going to try my best and flank them. Gragas is actually going for a really weird base here, but I do get hit by the Morgana bind. So unfortunate for me, I wasn't able to pick up anything up. Top lane, there is a big minion wave with a super minion that obviously, you know, eventually got there and is going to be pressuring this turret. So good news for us. While we're in the mid lane, they're just going to kill everything. So again, Jax will just completely wreck everything with the Lucian, with the Ziggs. Turrets will go down very, very quickly in this game. So again, bot lane is going to be soon. Use my Counter-Strike. Now, I don't think Counter-Strike actually does anything to a tower. which I think it should, but it doesn't. So anyway, again, not a very good trade. Meanwhile, in mid lane, they're probably going to nearly kill the Renekton. Maybe. Nope, doesn't go down. So they're so low, incredibly low. So we do have to be careful. Duff gets hit by a bind. I think I do go a bit ballsy here. Try to kill the Severe. They get Ignite on me. I use my ultimate just to be a bit more tanky. Use my Blade of the Ruin King to go out. And again, Duff kind of runs into the enemy team, which don't know why. But yeah, I think we will manage to survive here. Maybe Fire will go down. We'll have to see. He runs into a Wukong. He will repel. Run, Fire, run. And he's very nice Cocoon, but at this point, it's not actually going to be doing that much. Obviously, the Cocoon got nerfed, as well as Wukong probably having yet Tenacity, so the Cocoon won't last pretty much anything. So Fire does go down there. So that wasn't great, but we do actually get quite a lot for it. We get this inhibitor. We obviously already had that inhibitor, and we got a lot of pressure in the bot lane. Obviously, we didn't get anything as in bot lane, but still. Now, the enemy team, I think, was looking for Baron, but then realised, oh wait, they actually did it. So that was quite funny. So I'm going to go back and buy, and I think I actually pick up my Randuins here, and maybe boots. Obviously, I still have tier 1 boots at 30 minutes in the game, which is obviously really, really late for not having tier 2 boots. So yeah, I pick up my Mercury Treads and I pick up my Randuin, so I'm a bit more beefy now. Won't be getting hit by CC as much, so I'm just going to speed up the game while we go into the rest or the remaining part of the game. So Jax is a champion that I'm actually looking forward to play a little bit more. Obviously, this matchup is not favouring Jax, but certain matchups you can just have a free lane, farm, and then become a beast, much like a Nasus in that respect. That Nasus, some matchups he can literally just Q farm to Kingdom Come and then just be an absolute beast when like 500 stacks on. He'll just kill everything. Meanwhile, in bot lane, they actually do manage to pick up the Severe. Don't know why she was out all the way this, far when they don't have any pressure on the map. I'm just going to continue farming a little bit in this top wave. Now, if we look into the CS into this game, it's relatively even. The only big difference is actually me and the Renekton. And that's pretty much because Renekton has been their wave clear in, this top lane when it's been pushing into their base. They've been just sending Renekton to go wave clear it, which is fine. I don't mind being behind in CS. I'm stronger than him, so it doesn't actually matter anyway. Now, I could be doing different things here. Honestly, I could just be going on their Nexus turrets. That probably would be actually the best thing to do. So I dive onto the Wukong. We managed to pick up that kill. And at this point, I'm tanky enough just to tank these turrets. And we will continue going for the Renekton, but I think that will be the game. So that was Jax top. You can kind of show Jax as the champion that even though he will get abused early game, eventually he will come out on top. So I was behind in CS, but as you can tell, I just have so much more pressure than Renekton late game that I managed to kill all that top turret while my team were doing other things and then just secure some kills. So final score 7-4-3. So yeah, pretty good game. So I will see you guys soon. More commentaries and guides and replay analysis to come. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.